Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's January 21st, 2024, and today I've got some post-crossing to do. I've also got some direct swaps. I've picked out the cards that I'm going to send, so I'm going to show you the ones that I've picked, and hopefully you'll agree with my selections. Yeah, and if you're finding the channel for the first time, make sure you go ahead, subscribe, like, leave positive comments, and share with other people. If you put the notification bell on too, it'll remind you when I've got new videos coming out. For example, on Saturday, I do live streams, so if I do a scheduled live stream, you'll get a live stream. You'll get a notification that I will be going on. All right, let's get to today. I have 3 official ones that I can send out. So the rest of mine are traveling. The first one I have is going to Germany. She says she's 50 years old. She lives near the German town of Hamburg. She's a mother of 2. Both 20 and 18-year-old girls. She's working at a bank. She's married. Her hobbies are traveling, foreign countries, cooking, and our lovely cat. She loves to travel to foreign countries and to cruise. I traveled all over the world, and I love it. I hope to get wonderful picture postcards from you, Melanie. Well, I went with this one of Kuujjuaq National Park, which is here in New Brunswick. I figured this is Kelly Beach's boardwalk along the way. I figured if she loves to travel, I better show her something here of New Brunswick. So maybe if she hasn't been here already, she gets a chance to look at one of the nature things that we do have if you come here. So that's my first card. My second one going out is going to Washington State in the United States. She says she is currently lives in the forested part of Washington. Her mail carrier comes before 9 a.m. Enjoys reading your postcards with a cup of coffee every morning. I especially love cards that the sender enjoyed writing, making, and sending. I also enjoy seeing how you organize in limited space. So yeah, definitely on a postcard, you have limited space to write. Her hobbies and interests include making and sending handmade postcards, doing collages, doing craft experiments with papers, paint, pens, and fabrics, making pressed leaves and flowers, using vintage postage stamps, finding ways to make simple manual work more efficient, visiting mines and quarries, pigs, rodents, and plump animals. Well, with that being said, I went with this street art card of some maybe plump animals, and they certainly can be plumper. These are raccoons, of course, and I thought, you know, it's creative, and she seems to be a very creative person, so that's the way I went with her interests and hobbies. All right, the last official one that I can send out is also going to Germany. She says she's almost 50 years young and maybe halfway through her lifespan. One does not know. I've experienced many good times and bad times. She's gone through cancer and COVID-19. I believe in the sum of experiences shape our own character and make us who we are and are willing to give in terms of our hearts and minds. I live with my family in Germany's smallest state and find peace and relaxation here, as well as a little refuge when writing and receiving postcards. In these difficult times, it is a precious gift to share time and thoughts with complete strangers, and I find this connection very inspiring, hopeful, and comforting. Have you ever wondered how many hands a postcard goes through from purchase to receipt? How many people read her and my handwriting during this process? And if these cards survive us, how many more people will hold on and read these cards? Isn't it a fascinating thought that you can spin endlessly? Yeah, there's a lot of thought in that too. Not only the person that created the card, the company, but then they put it on a shelf in a store perhaps, and then many people have picked it up and looked at it before one person finally bought it. That person goes home and takes it and perhaps writes their story on it and sends it off to someone else. Well, it goes in the mailbox, and from the mailbox, the mail carrier picks it up, takes it back to the plant. The plant then probably has a couple people that have picked it up and moved it around to make sure it's going to the right country. It gets processed through machines. It arrives in that country. Then a few more people look at it and process it to make sure it gets to the right area, to the right mail carrier that's going to deliver it. That mail carrier then delivers it and goes into your mailbox, and then the recipient gets it and reads it. Then that's one journey. Then the recipient puts it in a catalog or something, or in a drawer, and then perhaps at the end of their life, someone else has to go through those drawers and see it once again and decide what to do with it. You know, that card potentially will outlast not only the person that gets it, but multiple generations thereafter, depending on how many people are collectors. Very interesting thought. I digress. My interests and hobbies are very diverse and increase as I get older. I like being in nature, in the garden, in the forest, enjoy peace and quiet, hiking and gardening. I love music and walk around with headphones most of the day. I have the right playlist for every situation. When interesting musicians perform in her area, she likes to go to concerts. This can vary from classical to new metal. Otherwise, I sometimes play on the console or the PC. I really like board games or cards. I started collecting Monopoly in different editions. That's a little crazy. Not really a little crazy. I used to collect Monopoly in all different forms as well. But no one really wanted to play Monopoly with me. So I've got all these board games with Monopoly in the basement. Some of them have never been used or even opened. Maybe the 80s never left me. It was great and neon colorful time. Since I do not know your financial situation and your living conditions, I have no special wishes regarding a postcard that you want to send me. I appreciate the time and thoughts you give me for this moment in our meeting. That's expensive enough. Thank you for this and your efforts. If you can think of any ideas at all, or if you happen to have something left on this topic, then I'd be happy about the following. She's very interested in American history and politics, the conquest of the American continent through to today's culture, and its patriotism is very fascinating and exciting. There are countless interesting topics from all presidents, states, music, history, to the most diverse food and living cultures. Every single corner of the United States and its people is so diverse and different, and sometimes so similar and yet different from Europe, that I can't hear and see enough about it. I would really be excited to learn to get to know more about the USA. But the most important thing is that you write to me, because that is the unique for me and is the most meaning of postcrossing. All the best health, peace, and happy postcrossing. All right. All that being said, when she got to American history, it made me think of, well, what about Canada? Canada, we've got a very diverse country as well. We've got a rich history with some good things and some bad things. So I'm going to send her a historical card from my area. This is the 1730 Oath of Allegiance. So when the British came in and took over what was here before, which was New France, all the French colonists that were here, they were forced to sign an allegiance to the king. And if they didn't, they were deported. So not a very proud moment in our history, but our history nonetheless. So let's get her excited about maybe learning a bit about Canadian history, if she's so excited about the American history. All right, those are my 3 official ones to go. Now let me show you some of the direct swaps that I picked. First, it's wintertime. Let's look at some icebergs and some things going on here. This is a prepaid card that I'm going to send out, so it doesn't require postage. So I'm going to send that to someone that maybe isn't as keen on having a postage stamp as some of my other followers or my other friends. This one here, Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. A nice card going out. I recently got this in from Jilly B. If you don't know Jilly B, you should go check out her channel, Jilly B Living Her Life Her Way. This one here, the terrestrial planets of our solar system. So we got Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Can you pick out the one that you're on? All right. This one here showing some of the covered bridges here in Carleton County. Well, I'm not in Carleton County. I'm in Westmoreland County. But in Carleton County, you will find these ones. And what are counties? Well, the province of New Brunswick and other provinces too are all broken up into smaller districts, smaller counties. We don't really do a lot with those counties when it comes to politics or what have you. But for the sake of it, I'm in Westmoreland County, which is where the city of Moncton is located. And then we have this beautiful view of Vancouver, British Columbia. So you can see there in the background is Stanley Park. And when my wife and I lived in Vancouver, we lived very close to Stanley Park. And then here on the East Coast, Nova Scotia. So you can see Canada there is highlighted, and Vancouver way over here, and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia on this side. And then we have a nice little fox that's hanging out in the flowers. And finally, this great card of King Charles III. It's going out to someone who appreciates the monarchy. And although it is a beautiful card, I love having it. It's blank, so it must travel. That's been my rule. I sometimes hang on to some of the really special blank cards for a long time, but I know that if it hasn't been written on, it shouldn't be in my collection. It should be off traveling the world and in someone else's collection. That's my thoughts on blank cards. So when people send me cards and say, oh, this, you'll really love this, if it's not written on, I'm not saving it. I'm going to send it off so somebody else will really love it too. I might hang on to it for a moment to enjoy it, but eventually it is going to travel the world. All right, that is all I've got for today. I did do some stamp sorting, so I am going to have one more. If you've been watching my budget from the Moncton Stamp Fair, I gave myself a budget of $100, and I went out and bought something, or various things for that. I put out one video. The part one already came out showing you the first $59 what I bought, things at the auction and things. Well, I have one more video to come out to show you that last $40 of things that I bought. I organized all that, and so it's ready to go. So next week, you're going to see that video pop up on my feed. All right, that's it for now. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?